and welcome to my kitchen. My name's Shannon, and today on this Super Bowl Sunday, I'm going to show you how to make a super bowl of white chicken chili. If you follow the Trim Healthy Mama way of eating, this is in the category of an e-meal, but you can make it a healthy crossover by topping it with a little sour cream, yogurt, or shredded cheese at the end of the meal. I make my chili in an Instant Pot pressure cooker, but if you want to take this recipe and make it on the stovetop because you don't have a pressure cooker, that would work too. This is just quicker for me, and I can walk away and have time to do something else while my food cooks itself. Okay, so the recipe calls for 3 to 4 pounds of cooked boneless, skinless chicken breast. I personally like it with 3 pounds of the meat, but if you like it with a little more meaty texture, just go ahead and add in 4 pounds. So what we're gonna do is open your pressure cooker. Now right now mine is empty, so I'm gonna add in 1 quart of water. And you don't have to do anything special to your chicken. Open it and plop it in. If you want to take the time to trim off all the fat and cut it up, that's up to you. But really, it's not necessary because we're not going to be eating it whole. We're just cooking it. And then when it's finished, you're going to take it out and shred it. Then you can remove all the fat. You can take it and put it into either bite-sized pieces if you'd rather do that than shred, or if you want to put it in strips, you can do that too. That depends on how long you cook your chicken. I like to cook my chicken 20 minutes, and then it is cooked so tender that it will just shred apart with no issue. If you cook it a little bit less, say 15 minutes, it's gonna be together better so that when you take it out, you can chop it or slice it into thin pieces instead. But I like to shred my chicken because you get more in every bite. So mine is turned on. I'm gonna turn it on to poultry, and it's already set at 20 minutes because that's my favorite setting for making chicken. Let's go ahead and pop your top on and press start. You're good. So while this is cooking, what you want to do is prep the rest of the recipe. The rest of the recipe is going to entail 3 to 5 cans of white beans. Now, I know that that's a broad range, but it just depends on how many beans you like. I personally like to put in 3 cans of beans, but when I gave this recipe to a friend, she liked to add 5 cans because she wanted a thicker, heartier chili. You're going to use 1 bag of okra. And trust me, if you think okra is slimy and you won't like it, give it a chance. You won't taste the slime in this recipe. You're going to use 1 jar of the roasted Verde salsa. Now, I find this at Aldi. It's the only jar of salsa I can find like this without sugar. Be sure not to grab the tomatillo salsa that's right next to it. That does contain sugar. So the roasted Verde salsa, a little bit of liquid smoke, just a little bit, 3 ribs of celery, an onion. I personally like a red onion with this recipe, but if you like a milder white onion, go ahead and use that. 4 cloves of garlic, but if you like more, add more. Really, I think a good chili recipe is about tweaking it to whatever you want it to taste like. I'll give you the base ingredients, tell you how much I use, and you can go from there. I add baobab, salt, a little bit of creole, this one's the garlic, onion, cumin, and my favorite and secret ingredient is the smoked paprika. That's really gonna give it that flavor that people say, what is that? It's your smoked paprika. Now when your pressure cooker is going, if you don't know much about them, you're gonna think something's wrong. It says on. It doesn't sound like it's doing anything. It is warming up. It doesn't start instantly counting down from the 20. What it does is it has to get up to temperature, then it counts down your 20 minutes. So you have probably about 35 minutes before your chicken's done to prep the rest of your ingredients. At this point, you can walk away. You can do laundry, you can do dishes, you could sit down and relax. Plenty of time for yourself. That's why I really suggest an Instant Pot. But I do want to say one thing. When I first got mine, I kept forgetting to adjust the setting in the back. It says vent or sealing. Make sure you have it on sealing when you have the lid closed and cooking, or else it's never going to count down properly because it'll continue to vent out the air and it won't pressurize. So make sure it's on sealing and it's on and it's going. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook, and I'm going to chop up my vegetables and crush my garlic, and I'll come back to you when that's done. Welcome back. The chicken's finished and I've already released the pressure on the machine. You can let it naturally release, or you can use the quick release button and flip the switch toward the front of the machine to venting. I choose to quick release, but if you forget or you have to run an errand, it's fine to let it auto release in pressure. The machine will keep your chicken warm. You can come back and finish the rest later. But I went ahead and did a quick release. So I'm going to take off the top. And now you're going to shred the chicken. All right, now what you want to do is take a regular mixer and put it into the chicken. You can see that it already starts to rip apart. Very simple and easy, but be careful. When you're doing this to the chicken, it will splatter. So stay back just about as far as your arm can. So put it down once you've broke it up a little bit with the blades, then turn it on low. Move it around. Turn it on low. Move it around. Break it up a little bit more if you need to. Find a large piece and then turn it on low. It's shredding the chicken so perfectly you won't need a knife. Some of the bigger pieces might need a little bit of nudging. All right, looks about perfect. So the next step would be to take a blender. I like to use my Vitamix, but any blender you have will do. And you dish out some of that hot liquid, just the liquid, into the blender. It doesn't matter, maybe 3 or 4 ladles full. Try not to get any chicken in there, but if you do, it's not a big deal. All right, that should be good. Pull this over so you can see it. And you're gonna take your okra next and dump it right into the blender. Now, I use the pulse function on my blender when I do the next step, but if you don't have a pulse function, just turn it on and off a few times so that you're gonna break up the okra. You don't want it to be slimy and broken up too much, but just break it up into small pieces. I put it on a level 4 for my machine and pulse it. Now you can see that it's broken up into a bit of a slurry. And that's exactly what you want. Don't know if you can see down in there very well, but there's no whole okra. You may see a few seeds, but that's no big deal. So just dump that straight into the pot. Make sure you get all of that goodness. All All right, now you're gonna stir that in. Then the next step is to open your jar of salsa and empty that in. If you think it's a little too spicy because of the jalapeno, don't put it all in. I like the extra spice. And put in your pre-drained cans of beans. I found it's easiest that after opening, I use a can strainer into the sink. Okay. And we're using Great White Northern beans. All right, now I like to give it a stir at this point. It is definitely not ready, but we're getting there. Mix it together. All right, now you'll add in the celery. The red onion. And the garlic. I've pressed 3 cloves. And I'd like to show you how I use my press on the last clove. I like the cumin garlic press. And I like to use regular whole clove garlic. My little trick that I do is I grab with 2 fingers one end, 2 fingers the other end, and twist it. Actually, this one needs a little bit more, but then the paper peels right off. You don't have to worry about the stickiness, because peeling garlic used to be a very long, tedious process for me. So I would buy the pre-minced garlic, which is fine. If you want to buy the pre-minced, buy the pre-minced. Okay, so with this garlic press, you just put it down and squeeze it directly into your recipe. Now I take a knife and scrape off the bottom. And I love this garlic press because for cleaning, it pops right out. And you can get off all that extra garlic that likes to stick inside the press. I actually will put that straight into my recipe. I just rip it up a little bit before I put it in so that nobody gets a large piece in their mouth. All right, now the next step is a squirt of liquid smoke. I personally like to use the hickory in this recipe. However, you can use the mesquite as well if you want a little bit of different flavor. Just give it 1 squirt. I don't measure that. I just squirt until I feel like I have enough. And the last step before simmering the chili is to add the seasoning blend. Now, I like to add in 1 teaspoon of baobab powder because it has a very high vitamin C content, and that gives a secret little boost of vitamin C that doesn't change the flavor. 1/2 teaspoon of creole seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and when you go to some grocery stores, that is called granulated garlic. If you do not love garlic as much as me, just cut back on that. I know we already put in the minced garlic, and now we're adding the powdered garlic, but that really just builds the flavor and makes the soup taste more rounded. We're gonna put in 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of the smoked paprika. If you can't find the smoked paprika, because it is harder to find, sometimes look under Spanish paprika, because the Spanish paprika is already smoked. So go ahead and add those in. Now, just stir it all together and wait until that is blended. And turn your cooker on saute. Saute is going to bring it up to a high heat. Then once it's at the high heat, I close it, turn it on to poultry, and cook for 10 minutes. So that looks pretty good and mixed together. Cooked a little quicker than I thought. So poultry, and turn it down to 10 minutes. Go ahead and put your lid on. I always put it on from the front. There we go. And turn it to seal. Okay, the chili is finished. I've released the pressure. I've opened the pot. It's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and dish it out. I like to get a few ladles of all of the thick chili goodness. And then 1 ladle or 2 of the liquid. All right, now, if you're lucky enough to have a bowl cozy like I am, it's going to be great for your hands. Thank you, Aunt Linda. It's fantastic. It's very hot, but very, very good. So go ahead and try this recipe at home and let me know what you think of this super bowl of white chicken chili. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you'll know when I post a new video. Thank you for watching. I hope you join me in the kitchen next time.